Hey guys, this is DFS Chan coming to you to talk about tonight's slate, League of Legends, February 27th. It's a 5-game slate again, and 3 games in China and 2 games in Korea. So let's dive in, and I'll try to make it shorter, than previous videos because I've heard some people, wanting a shorter video. So let's do that. So LPL Thunder Talk versus FPX. As you guys know, Thunder Talk is one of the bottom teams on the standings, and FPX is like a mediocre standing team for the LPL. So that's why FPX is hugely favored here at minus 900. That kill upside, or that total kills over under, is sitting at 24. BLG versus JDG is the next matchup. BLG is a slight favorite, basically a toss-up, basically like a pick-em game. But BLG is a favorite at minus 170 over JDG. That kill upside is the highest according to Vegas odds on the slate. So both teams are viable for that reason for GPP. And then LNG versus V5, it's a pick'em game literally, but LNG is a slight favorite at minus 120, and that has a good kill upside as well at 26 kills over under. So yeah, let's dive into those Chinese matchups before we move on to the LCK. So let's look at my notes here. I like Thunder Talk. No, just kidding. I like FPX. FPX has, superior metrics in every metric imaginable. As you guys know, TT has been horrible. I know they've started Chieftain and UCal in the jungle and in the mid lane position, respectively. And Thunder Talk looked a little bit better. I mean, they've been taking teams to a best of 3. Like all the way to 3 games recently against all of their opponents, really. So I think that could happen here. Thunder Talk could win a game in the series, but at the end of the day, I think FPX is too talented and too good of a team to lose to Thunder Talk in a series like this. Plus, they really need a win here. They are in the middle of the pack on the standings. I do think they're going to take care of business here. I think Gory is pretty weak mid laner, in my opinion, for FPX, but having several games or many games now under his belt has been helping a lot. I think he is getting used to playing in the LPL play style, along with Klid, the jungler for FPX. So I like FPX still to win here, but as I mentioned earlier, the kill upside is a little bit limited here. And I also looked at the actual combined kills per minute. It's sitting at 0.78. So that's the lowest that we have amongst all the Chinese games. As you can see, FPX scores pretty well in terms of the kill upside, but looks like Thunder Talk tends to play a bit slower. So I think that kill upside is going to be a little limited. BLG versus JDG. The next 2 Chinese games I'll talk about, they're basically toss-up. I mean, I looked at the metrics and they're toss-up. They're really close. Like BLG or JDG could win on any given day. But I'm here to give you guys a pick, right, and a prediction. And I always try to make an educated guess. But these 2 actually did have a hard time on it. So because they just go back and forth. I think BLG has a lot of win conditions, and JDG has a lot of win conditions that I've looked at. But yeah, so I actually have JDG winning in this one, in a very close matchup. Like I said, I think JDG has been in better form than BLG. I think BLG has been a little more inconsistent. Bringing in Uzi, 80 carry, ever since then, I feel like BLG has not been the same team, or even before Uzi came on. The reason why Uzi came on was that because they were struggling a bit, but I don't think it, to me at least, my eye test tells me that they still have not fixed those issues. But at the same time, JDG has their own issues as to they just make the dumbest mistakes sometimes and just cost them the game. That happened last year a lot. That's why they didn't make the playoffs last year. But this year they're much better. Yagao and Kanavi have been carrying that team, and their bottom lane have been much better compared to last season. So I just think, I mean, JDG, I think they just beat anyone's legend 2-1 in the series. I know they struggled a bit in one of those games where they lost, but in their wins, they looked really solid and clean. So, and then BLG's was not, in my opinion, again, even against Team WE, who's the worst team in the LPL, in my opinion. So I prefer JDG's based on their recent form. I do think JDG is going to win today, just based on that. And I think Yagao versus Fofo in the mid lane matchup. It's going to be the marquee matchup to watch, but I think that's just going to be a wash. In my opinion, Yagao has been in really good form, and Fofo has been as well. So, but I have JDG just based on the recent form and a little bit of less inconsistency that that I prefer. LNG versus V5. This is another very close matchup. LNG and V5 are really good teams, top 4 teams right now. Yeah, so I mean, and sorry, one thing I forgot to mention about the BLG versus JDG is that it has the highest kills total over under, and then it is supported by the CKPM at 0.87, so it's really high. So obviously, JDG loves to play fast. As you can see, they're sitting at 0.86 in wins and then 1.0 in losses. So I think both teams are definitely viable for GBP. And next matchup, as mentioned, LNG versus V5. It's going to be a close matchup again. Combined kills per minute is 0.86. So they both have kill upside to score well for DFS purposes. I do have LNG and V5 like going back and forth on the metrics comparison that I've done. But at the end of the day, I think V5 has been in much better form than LNG. Like V5, I feel like has been in the best form amongst these 4 elite teams, in my opinion. BLG, JDG, LNG, V5. V5 has beaten some good teams, like including EDG. Yeah, so I like V5 here in a very close matchup. If it's tight like this, based on the metric analysis and based on the eye test, based on the based on the roster comparison, I just look at the eye test for me. The way that they've been playing, more recently in the past 2-3 games. V5, I feel like has been in much better form, especially in the mid lane. Rookie has been playing really well. And Doinby for LNG has not been. So I like Rookie over Doinby. And overall, like even in the top lane, Rich for V5 has been in good form. And I think he'll go toe-to-toe against Ale for LNG. So, and then V5's, Karsa over Tarzan. I think they're about the same. I mean, they're a wash, I think. So I like V5 again, like I said. I think LNG is definitely in consideration for GPP. So, but yeah, I think this matchup is gonna have good kill upside, except for maybe LNG's kill upside, because this is an interesting nugget that V5 actually gives up very few deaths in their losses. So maybe LNG, if they do win, pull an upset, not an upset. If the LNG wins, maybe their kill upside would be limited. Let's move over to the LCK. I will pull up. Well, first, these are the rosters that I posted on my Twitter, but really no big surprises in these rosters today. I think they're all just regular starters that have been starting for all 6 Chinese teams. And then, but for the LCK, yeah, I mean, it's DRX versus Genji. Genji is sitting at -325 as a favorite. They have all the starters back: Thorn, Peanut, Chovy, Ruler, and Lehens. But this kill upside is going to be very limited. DRX tends to play slow. But at the end of the day, I think Genji wins. I don't think Genji is going to lose tonight. I'm pretty confident that Genji is not going to lose. Like I said, Genji got their starters back. They're starting to gel again, and they really do need this win to be able to challenge T1 and other elite teams in the top half of those LCK standings. I just feel like Genji has an advantage in every single lane and every single metric that I've seen so far. But at the same time, like I said, Genji may not score well for DFS purposes because DRX likes to play very slow. And then the last matchup of the day is Sandbox versus Notion Red Force. Notion Red Force is back to their old selves. Kana, Dread, BDD, and then Ghost is starting at AD carry again. I think this is an expected lineup for LCK, but there's a good chance that I could change up. But I think Ghost is gonna start AD carry, and then Peter. I think either Peter or Effort starting at support. But I think Peter's going to be back in, which he was in the past series. So, and then for Sandbox, as you guys know, the bottom lane could change, but Ice and Kale have been starting for a long time, so they should start. And Sandbox has been playing pretty decent. I mean, I know they're probably the worst team, like statistically, but the last like 3-4 games, I mean, yeah, they've shown me some fire in them. They have some upside to be able to beat some good teams. I know Notion has been struggling quite a bit. I mean, they were on a 5 or 6 game losing skid for a while. So Sandbox, I give Sandbox more of an upset shot at beating Notion Red Force than, let's say, DRX's chances to beat Genji today, even though the odds may not indicate that. Sandbox has been playing pretty well lately, so, but at the end of the day, I think Notion having that usual starters back as well. I think Notion's going to take care of business. They really need this one to compete for the playoffs. I think Sandbox's bottom lane is still a liability, as mentioned. Ice and Kale, they haven't shown me anything, and they're going up against Ghost and Peter, who had a series in the past this past week together again, and they look really good. So I think Notion's gonna stick with that, and I feel like that's the best starting five they could have, and I feel like they're gonna stick to that, and so I like Notion's chances. But like I said, I think for GPP, deep GPP, I like Sandbox's chances. They could have a shot as long as the bottom lane goes even against Ghost and Peter. But the top half of the map, like Dove, Croco, and Closer for Sandbox, they've been playing really well lately. So I think they can definitely compete against Notion in those lanes. So I think Sandbox is worth in consideration for GPP. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys like my video. If you like the video, please hit the like button or subscribe button. But if you have any questions, let me know on Twitter, Discord, on YouTube. Yeah, good luck everybody, and yeah, thanks for playing. See ya.